on, curls unfurled. Back in middle school, your teacher said you could conquer the world. If only you'd applied yourself, but those textbooks always tended to gather dust on the shelf, and you dwelt on Facebooks and steered clear of study nooks. Those vocabulary words in multiplication of thirds had you shook, and you mistook your online friends and knowledge of trends as a means of defending against your lack of comprehending, and you were never intending on offending, but all sorts of boys were sending you all sorts of suggestive texts. Suggestive here meaning suggesting sex. And you were curious and perplexed, and eventually that confusion led to a yes. And as you laid against his chest, one hand gripping a bicep slightly flexed, the other resting on his left pec, you were searching for something. That something was your self-respect. And you tried to convalesce as you redressed, tried not to second-guess your decision, but the incision on your innocence had been made, and that undeserving boy was already telling all his boys he'd just gotten laid. You unwittingly abdicated your youth, and now you were nothing, a common whore to be subjugated to an unabated storm of rumors. You tried to find shelter, maybe some humor, but that boy's touch seemed to have left a tumor, and it would remain benign at times, but inevitably another carcinogen would come along and tell you were looking fine, and you knew what to do. You were the product, and he was the consumer. Ugly little slut. Produces smut, wrists should be cut, skirts so high you can see half of her tan butt. I witnessed this transformation. One impulsive action condemning you to social damnation, your self-loathing composing a mantra in your head that said, I'm worthless, I'm nothing, I wish I were dead. You can't even recall the original notion that set in motion this vicious circle of self-destruction and corrosion of emotions, surrounded by an ocean of boastmen looking for their shot at inducing your release of oxytocin. Every transaction based on sexual attraction, but what do you expect when you present yourself as nothing more than an instrument of satisfaction? But I would see you rid yourself of this caption. Shed your masculine pathogen, get that pretty girl back again. Cause I see a seraphim fiend demeaned, preened with MTV dreams, colored clean. Somewhere in between 4 and 16, I see you douse yourself in kerosene, cause it burns slower than gasoline. And even through that smile, I can tell it's hard not to scream. Ashes and embers. I want you to try and remember back to your clandestine innocence when boy-girl interactions were mysterious with no pretense. It was harmless and silly and didn't need to make sense. He said, I love you, when you would smile, content. Neither of you knowing what he really meant, innocent. So, dispense of your makeshift mascara armor, condense your list of would-be charmers, because tiny imperfections and unclouded complexions inspire real erections. So take a moment for introspection. Relinquish all fear of rejection and hold off for that deeper connection. And don't take this tale as just some preaching lesson. This hasn't just been a cautionary rhyme session for all you possessions of youth lost looking for an outlet of self-expression. So please understand my indiscretion.